Hi, my name is Jeannie Mayer, and I'm here at Cheney Hill Hall of Sciences, and I'm going to show you the protocol that we use to measure the buffer capacity of each of the buffers that we simulated making in Beyond Labs. I have a sample of buffer number 1 in this graduated cylinder. It's 25 mils. I'm just going to pour it into a beaker and add a stir bar. I have a pH electrode here. I've already calibrated it and rinsed it off. In the burette here, I've filled the burette with the HCl that we're using for the measuring the buffer capacity. It's 0.1019 HCl. I fill the burette to the 0 mark. Just a little tip: when you're measuring or reading the burette, it's always handy to have a piece of paper with a black mark on it and put it behind the burette. It casts a shadow on the meniscus and it's easier to see. So I fill this burette to the 0.00 milliliter mark. I'm going to put the buffer on the stir pot plate and get my buffers out of the way. I've already calibrated this pH electrode with 4 and 7 buffer, and I will put the electrode into the beaker to measure the pH. Turn my stir plate on, get that stirring. This particular electrode is a wireless electrode, and we have a program on our iPads in the laboratory that will act as a pH meter. You can see the pH is down here at the bottom of the screen. To start collecting data, I pushed collect. Oops. And I'm going to create a new data set. This is buffer 1. I want to go ahead and record the pH of the buffer without any HCl added, so I am going to say keep and say that there is just 0.00 milliliters. And keep that point, and I can see that my data has been recorded on the screen here. And for this protocol, we added a half a mil or 0.50 mils of HCl and sodium hydroxide successfully to each buffer until we see it change by at least 1 pH unit. So I'm going to go ahead and add a half a mil. And then we wait for the pH to stabilize after adding that milliliter. And then I say keep, and I tell it that I've added 0.50 milliliters, and keep that point. And let's add one more. And so now I've added another half a mil, waited for the pH to stabilize. I press keep and tell it that now the burette is at 1.00 milliliters. I'm basically telling the iPad what the burette reading is. So I'm at 1 mil, and I tell it I'm at 1 mil and measure the pH. So the data that you see in Beyond Labs that you will be analyzing was collected in this manner. One of the things that I also did is, as I got closer and closer to changing the pH by 1 pH unit, I went ahead and added less than half a mil so we could get a more accurate reading. So enjoy the lab and have a great day.